Welcome back. We'll start with the security session, and I would invite Gorazd Božič from Slovenian SICERT team, the head of Slovenian SICERT team, to tell us something about the cybersecurity campaign in Slovenia, named Do Will You Listen Now?
Yes. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, again. Yesterday I was talking about incident response. Today I'm going to talk about a different aspect of cybersecurity, which is awareness raising. Now the title is deliberately slightly provocative, but it's not aimed to you. So I'm not telling you that you're not the ones that should listen, but I think you'll see during my presentation why have I chosen this sort of title. Awareness raising is one of the common methods to address cybersecurity issues, not just cybersecurity, but various issues in our lives. And in Slovenia, we currently have 2 active programs for raising awareness in cybersecurity. The older one is called safe.si. It's now branded as a Center for the Safer Internet. This is aimed toward the children, the adolescent users, the youth, their parents, and their teachers. It started, I think, roughly 10 years ago, and it's part of the EU Safer Internet program. And this Safer Internet program was created to raise awareness about safer internet use for children. The premise being that internet can be slightly dangerous if you don't know how to use it, or that kids can stumble upon bad things on the internet. It is split 50-50 on EU and local government funding. Now the European Commission wanted to cut down the program, said after 10 years now it's going to be up to the local governments to fund the awareness raising programs. There was a big outcry and some negotiations, and it's still partly financed by EU, but the funds are getting lower and lower. The Slovenian program is run by a consortium of academic and research network, Faculty for Social Sciences, and a couple of youth organizations that also run the hotline. And then we have Safe on the Internet, or Varni na internetu, which is targeted then towards adult users, because not only the youth and kids are susceptible to some risks online, but also adult users, as we will see later. This is fully funded by the local government, and it's actually run by us, the SICERT. This is the website for the safe.si. It's in Slovenian, of course, but maybe some of you can decipher that there's sections for my identity and privacy, social network, cyberbullying, this sort of stuff. And there's a lot of materials also for teachers, even if it's not in the curriculum nowadays. The subject of internet safety is not part of the curriculum in Slovenian elementary schools, but still this awareness raising program produced some materials which teachers can use when teaching at various subjects in elementary school, and help them to include the issue of safe internet use in their materials. Okay, but I'll be speaking mostly from the perspective and our experiences over 5 years that we run this Safe on the Internet program. It's branded very simply. Sponsored session. Ooh. Like. Ooh. And will be closed. Sviđa vam se TeamViewer? Ne. Okay. The slogan is, it all depends on me. When we started this, we started with a goal. Let's not let users always blame somebody else for bad things that happen on the internet. So we put that on the first page. You are also responsible for what you do online, and you can educate yourself. The reason for enrollment in this awareness raising program is the rise of online fraud. You can see the number of technical attacks that we handled at SICERT per year. Then online fraud in red. In between is the phishing, which is partly technical attack, partly online fraud. And you can clearly see that although the last year we went slightly lower on technical attacks, still the online fraud was on the rise. And on the 2009, we could see the share of online fraud starting to rise, so that was also the opportunity to start this incident handling, awareness raising program. From the onset of this awareness raising program, we were very conscious of a well-defined target audience. This is one of the more important things. You have to know who you are going to talk to. You cannot just say, I'm going to talk to everybody, because then you can fall into the trap of not addressing any target audience at all, or that your message will be very weak. You must think about who your target audience is, how their use of internet looks like, and what are the risks for them. And then you have to, based on that, you have to start thinking about how are we going to, what the message is and how we are going to deliver the message. So if I speak about the message, it is too often that, you know, you want to say something, but you complicate too much, and it's not very clear what you want to tell people. If you look at the media, how they report online fraud, mostly it's, ooh, this bad thing happened. You know, hackers stole €1 million from somebody. Is that the message that you want to give in your awareness raising program? No, because there's no actual advice for the user. Advice for the user usually is, how can I avoid falling into this trap? So you have to know what you're going to say. You have to be very clear on the message and find various partners, because it's not always you that's the most suitable to find answers to all these questions that I'm talking about. And one of the big problems when driving awareness-raising campaigns is that you have to grab the attention of the people. So right now I have to grab your attention so that I'm more interesting than the laptops in front of you and the mail that you are reading. And when you're delivering the awareness-raising campaign, you're not competing just with email, you're competing with reality shows, you're competing with sitcoms, you're competing with all the entertainment and information that we're being bombarded with. And I hope you know what this TLDR means. Too long didn't read. Users are not interested in reading long articles about the importance of cybersecurity. If you start doing that, you've failed. You have to be short, you have to be concise, you have to be very good at doing the content. And we decided, our approach was at the start that we're not going to fall into some scaremongering, how we're going to tell people that the internet is bad and so many bad things happen. That's a kind of a quick solution, quick and dirty solution, I can say. If you start doing that, then you know the levels of attention, you'll break through and grab some of the attention, but for a short period of time. After that, they will get used to you being always sensational, and they will turn away from you. And you have to be very aware of your limitations. You have to be aware that you're not going to get to all the people. You're not going to reach 100% of the target audience, never. And you have to be aware that they don't come to you out of curiosity. It's not that they come to your website because the topics are so sexy. No, they come to your website because they need a solution to a certain problem, or they feel that they need more information on how to avoid certain risks. When they get their information, they turn away and go deal with some more interesting stuff, some entertainment and so on. So you have to be aware of that. And of course, the ultimate limitation, the budget. How much money do you have? How much ads can you put there, and so on. We invested a lot of time into social media, and it paid off. Facebook and Twitter are great tools for reaching the audience, to gather followers, and every now and then you can do you can reward your followers with a small game or a quiz or something like that, and the rewards can be symbolic. People don't play online games or fill out some questionnaires because they want big awards, because they want an iPad. No. Lots of people are quite happy with t-shirts and, you know, some symbolic things, and that's great. And the social media is also very good for you getting the channel towards the classical media. If you get journalists that cover the cybersecurity onto your Twitter, if they start following you on Twitter and Facebook, then that's very good. Because as soon as you publish something, they're going to see if that's a relevant thing that they pick up also in the classical media. Okay. And our campaign is driven in the center that jackass or donkey represent our website. And around the website, we have various means of how we drive people towards the website. Through the events, through paid campaigns, through social networks, as I said, old media when they start picking up, or we partner with some newspapers or TV shows to do interesting things, and various partners. I think it's very important that just a couple of months ago we had a very nice meeting with the I don't know official English term for the office, but it's health inspectorate. You probably know what I'm talking about. And they have come also to the realization that this old view of, you know, we can regulate things within our jurisdiction, and as soon as, you know, the website is hosted, the website that sells illegal drugs is hosted in US or in Germany, there's nothing we can do. So they're switching to, let's see what are the alternatives for, you know, that old style of trying to get to the people that do this, with also raising awareness. So they also turned to us and said, you guys have some experience in awareness raising, so let's start talking, which I think is very good. This is our website, again, of course, in Slovenia. The main part there that you see is about ransomware, which we deal with currently, and then you have blocks of various subjects that we cover. And the interesting part is also that we have to seek solutions when we're presented with real problems. So when we found out that there was perpetrators, usually from Western Africa, that set up websites hosted in UK, where they sell farming, agricultural, and construction machinery, which they don't deliver, of course. We saw that as a problem. We started thinking, so how do we get to that target audience? How do we get to the people that are buying tractors, to agricultural machinery? And we then discovered that there's a newspaper by the Agriculture and Forestry Society of Slovenia, where all the farmers are basically members of that society, and they all receive this monthly paper at home. So we teamed up with them and wrote an article on how to detect online scams like that, and how to avoid that, and where to get more information. So we try to find particular solution to specific problems, not just address, you know, to me the boring thing is that, you know, if you start an awareness raising campaign with, let's talk about how to choose a good password. That's boring. People don't want to hear that. You have to address current issues, you have to address what the real problems are, and here's our online ad that we then used, or this is on the site. It says, fake web stores with tractors and construction machineries, and the highest single damage that was done was 24,000 euros. How come? Well, the guy went there to buy a tractor, and they told him, if you buy 2, you get the 3rd one for free. So, even those things work if you're doing online scams. And then, this is the problem that we had to deal with. Online banks doing fake loans, or non-existent banks offering free loans. In the time of economic crisis, this is a very good marketplace for the scammers. So when people are being turned down by all the banks, then they turn online and find the deals there, and of course they never get those loans. Here, the highest damage that was done was 9,000 euros. And when you run such a campaign, you have to evaluate. I mean, this is a common thing when you do any sort of business. Every now and then you have to evaluate. Am I doing the right thing? Are we achieving our goals? So is this still relevant? And which methods are working? And more importantly, which methods aren't working? This year we discovered that we spent a certain amount of money for web banners and other ads and pop-ups, and that didn't reflect onto the visit to our website at all, which means that doesn't work. Next year we're not going to spend money there. And remember your mission. And depending on what the context of your campaign, if you're doing it, is, your mission may be over one day. And the problems that we see sometimes is that the main mission of the awareness raising program becomes job security. So people that are working for a number of years on awareness raising programs do not want to accept the fact that their mission is over and that maybe they should start doing something else. And they fight for the money and they fight for the position because the main motive becomes the job security. And as I mentioned yesterday, I see cybersecurity as a kind of a 3-pillar thing. You have to plan things, you have to set up your networks, you have to secure them and all that. And because you cannot do that perfectly and that's just not viable, you have to have means to respond. You have to have things like SICERT, incident response team, maybe groups within firms. And then the third pillar is education and awareness raising. And I think my view is that SICERT is best suited for doing awareness raising. Why? Because we address real problems. We see reports coming in on what's going on the network, and we know which problems to address. If you don't have that component, then you are guessing what the problem is. And maybe you're addressing the wrong things. Okay, this is it. Thank you very much. Yeah. I don't see Domen. Should I call him?
We do not have the next presenter, and okay, we'll reschedule. We did it a few times today, so it would not be a new thing for this year's forum. And now I would like to invite Mr. Ludwig Wolf to announce in a few sentences EuroDig. Thank you.
Hello, thanks for the invitation and the opportunity to say some words about EuroDig. You may have found this flyer on the table the last minutes. EuroDig stands for European Dialogue on Internet Governance. It was created 2008 and it's this year's 9th edition. EuroDig always understood itself as a pan-European dialogue which is a conference every year conducted in different parts of Europe. The next step is now Brussels, what is supposed to be the next highlight in terms of program and in terms of participation. But Eurodic is not just an event, it's also a process. This means the program is done in a bottom-up manner, starting with a call for proposal at the end of the year. And on the basis of the proposals received, this year we had around 176 ideas for our topics, which are then compiled and clustered according to different thematic categories like access, like security, like internet governance ecosystem, etc. And out of these 170 proposals, during an open planning meeting we usually organize in January, inviting the community, we discuss the compilation of the proposals, and we also discuss more or less how the next program out of the submissions could be shaped. On this basis, we submit a first program outline, which is again for consultation by the community, and then collecting feedback and responses to the draft, we come up with a consolidated program version, which is now on the website. And then, according to the number of sessions, which is usually over 2 days, 6 plenary sessions and 8 to 10 workshop sessions, besides flashes, side events, etc. We are looking for focal points who, together with the submitters to each session, create an org team, and then they will do the fine-tuning of a particular session. That's the way the program is shaped. Year by year, I personally only have the role as a coordinator of this programming process, but the most of the work is done by the community, and it's done, what is important, in a bottom-up manner, and it's not the host, what is this year URIT, and what is this year the European Commission. It's not on them, it's not on the Secretariat, it's not on the partners to decide about the program. The program is done in a bottom-up way, and I think that's the only and best way to do it. So, sorry. And the registration has opened. Already you can see how the program is shaped over the next weeks on the website, and you can see it on the wiki. What is a parallel working instrument for the programming process. And from that, you can see the next results. Any questions?
Thank you, Ludwig. Dusan Stojicevic, could you please announce CDIC shortly? Thank you.
Hello. Maybe you noticed already on the panels outside of this room, Regional Internet Forum is a kickoff event for CIDIG. CIDIG is also kickoff event for EuroDIG. So basically CIDIG, a Southeastern European dialogue on internet governance, is scheduled for next month, exactly on 22nd of April, here in Belgrade. This will be the second CIDIG. First was in Sofia. This is the opportunity for us to talk a little bit more about internet governance and other topics related to internet. So it is my pleasure to invite you again in Belgrade next month to come and to add your expertise into dialogue on internet governance. Of course, I think that it is important to say that we need to talk if we want to manage internet well, to be secure. So if you want to see the topic, if you want to get involved, please just go on cidic.net site and you can get all answers that you want. Thank you.
Thank you, Dusan. Since our security panelist is back, please, Domen Savič, tell us something about the importance of privacy.
Ja se izvinjavam. Gorazd, Božič. Ok, prije toga smo razgovarali, our first project was Save the Net. This is Cryptoparty. Cryptoparty as a concept is a well-known and established form of meeting other people who are engaged in cryptography, in privacy, in security. We didn't know it. I mean, in Slovenia, this was the first time. So last year, when we ran our first Cryptoparty Slovenia, this was the first time that such an event took place. This is the reason. In 2014, Edward Snowden happened. In spring of 2015, we had the Tetra affair. Maybe you've heard of it. It's a system of communication used by the police force, by emergency services, and it turned out that it wasn't as secure as it should be. Or to say it plainly, it's not secure at all. And in 2015, the Balkans region had the famous Iconal affair. And all this happening sort of like triggered an emotion or a response from the public. You know, no one is safe, they're watching us, we can't do anything about it. The problem we've noticed when we were planning the Cryptoparty event was actually focusing on the end user. So we didn't do this to, you know, promote the general sense of privacy, the general sense of security. We focused on the end user, and we asked ourselves, okay, how can we help them? How can we make them, I don't know, more secure and more private? And how can we assure them that things like, okay, Iconal affair or Tetra won't happen again? So the first thing we did, this is the analysis. First of all, people did not know who to turn to. What do you do when you see, I don't know, Citizen 4 movie, and you know that they're, or at least you sense that they're spying on, let's say, mobile networks? What do you do? Who do you turn to? Do you turn to your ESP provider? Do you turn to, I don't know, Gorazd and RNIDS? Do you turn to your, I don't know who? So people didn't know. Other problem was that the big word in the region is still security and not privacy. So security is something of a value, privacy was not. And at the same time, regarding the NGO level, there was no government or EU grant for these kinds of activities. So we had no prior activities from the NGO sector where an NGO would provide such services. So, okay, this is another problem. So we didn't know, I mean, we didn't see an actor already present in the field who would be there to advise the user on terms of privacy. So many, like Gorazd and Varnina Internetu project is there to focus on the security, on malware, on spam, on other issues, but it's not focused on privacy as a value. The security sector is still, you know, the big one. So we said, okay, let's do it ourselves. Let's plan an event and incorporate, I mean, join on one stage different actors from different fields. So let's include techies. Let's include the ones who are writing and talking about policy. Let's develop a single point of online contact so that people will know where to go, where to get the info. And let's try and popularize the concept of privacy, not just security. So let's focus on the privacy, which is something of a catch-22 in terms of that the users are, when they're buying equipment, when they're buying, you know, gadgets, they assume the private setting is on. So that's something that the user anticipates and never states out loud. On the other hand, you have developers who don't develop products to be private. They develop it to be, you know, to be nice, to be flashy, to be somewhat secure. Privacy is something, you know, you can't sell privacy, not until, I mean, at least that's the general concern. And nobody talks about it, and then nothing gets developed or nothing gets made in that direction. So Cryptologic Slovenia is now a movement. We've been activated for 2 years. We usually plan an annual event, which is the big event, and we focus on 6 smaller workshops twice a year. So a set of 3 workshops in spring and a set of 3 workshops in the autumn. The annual event is composed out of lectures, so you come, you listen, you drink beer. Workshops are focused on you bring your own, you know, mobile phones, laptops, and you have at it. So that's the lecture part. The other part we did, the other focus we did is to inform the general public of the matters that are going on. We've made a deal with Dnevnik, which is I think now the 2nd biggest daily in Slovenia, to host our Cryptoparty column on their website. So we have a weekly column, and we also do policy work in terms of we participate in the processes of, you know, creating the national crypto strategy. We sort of like lobby, I guess you could say, for political changes. We try to be present in the political arena. The target audience is the threefold. First, it's the general population. So these are the users who want to be secure, who want to prevent, you know, at least or somewhat limit different intrusions into their online privacy. Then you have journalists, who are a special kind of people in terms of securing their sources to keep their communication private. And then you have corporate entities and let's say businesses who are present in the development sector. We try to push them towards thinking about, at least thinking, if not incorporating the privacy into their products. So right until now, the biggest buzzword on the block is Internet of Things. We have many, you know, conferences and showrooms focusing on Internet of Things, and we try to be there to influence them to talk about privacy as well. because nobody talks about it. Everybody's talking about, you know, flashy refrigerator who will send you a message when you ran out of milk. Everybody talks about, you know, I don't know, teddy bears with cameras and Wi-Fi's in them because you need your child to recognize, I mean, the bear will then recognize your child expression and will, you know, try and think of a clever answer, but nobody talks about, you know, the private aspect. Tools and skills, we're promoting PGP, Tor, Signal, SpiderOak, and CryptoCat, and we're promoting skills. So we're focusing on influencing the user to change their habits. These are some pictures. we had a Cryptoparty. Now the second Cryptoparty Slovenia event, annual Slovenia event, was organized. Together we brought over 200 people attending the event. We've sold out 12 workshops, and we have an online growing community of people who are aware of the fact that, you know, this is important and we should focus on that. Lessons learned. The most important thing is that we need to frame the debate about privacy. So privacy and security are not, you know, they're not excluding each other, and we need to be focused on that fact, because every time somebody, like we had now, I mean, FBI, Apple, France and stuff, everyone is talking about security or privacy being a threat to security. We don't think it is, but we need to frame the debate differently. We're focusing too much on the terrorists using secure apps, and we're not focusing enough on, you know, governments collecting data of every user that is out there. We realize that there's interest in the general public, but the people don't know where to start, how to get engaged, and we try to help them. And we are focusing especially on the journalists, as I mentioned before, a special kind of people who are dealing with extreme situation of, you know, handling contacts in a private and secure way. To find out more, these are the links, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Thanks.
Thank you, Domen. Okay,
we can
it
talk
seems that
after.
there is no questions right now. Thank you. Please, Mr. Vojisav Rodić, I would invite you to the floor to make a short wrap-up of the forum. Thank you.
Okay, the time has come for us to make a kind of conclusion. It's a forum wrap-up written by Nataša, edited by Dusan, Aida, and myself. First of all, we have a total of 4 advisories. First, and I think rather obvious, there is visible potential, expertise, knowledge and experience for cooperation and collaboration in the region. I'm sure that we have shown that today, especially we who stay till the end. Then the continuous enhancement of the collaboration on related topics among all relevant actors, private and government sector, civil society, tech community, academia, achieving the full synergistic effect of the complementary aligned visions, skills, and their interests. I think that we today have all the sectors present and very active. Encouraging participation of the local communities and individuals in global IG policy spaces. As Gabriela said this morning, ICANN can help bridging the gap of financial challenges for participation. And I think that we can all agree, of course, except us locals from Belgrade, but if it was in any other city in the region, it would be within our financial reach. And I hope that we all agree to continue these kind of meetings for the region, in the region. And of course, we have to, we don't have to, we feel like we have to express and comment on the valuable input from lawyers' session, which can help implement existing legal practice into laws applicable to internet jurisdiction. And I put internet jurisdiction under the quotes, because I know that lawyers will say, well, what do you mean, what is internet jurisdiction? But I think that's the kind of spirit that we all felt today. There are so many viewpoints you can take on various problems that occur in that unified internet, but at the same time, we have victims or people with all kinds of legal problems which are in certain real jurisdictions, and now we have to find a bridge. And today you have shown to us the ways the lawyers are trying and managing to combine two worlds into a practical, operable solution. Do you feel we don't have a formal vote? Does anybody have any comment, something to add on this? So I guess we can take this officially as a forum wrap-up. I thank you very much for participation. So, Nataša, what's next?
Thank you, Voja. I think we have one more short coffee break before, am I right? Okay. Yes? Yes, exactly. Okay, no problem, I can make it, okay. Yes, definitely. Yes, you can, of course.
On the agenda, there's the documentary film on the 20 years of hacking in Slovenia. I hope there's going to be interest in showing that. Unfortunately, we'll have to leave towards home. If there's still enough people left, I hope you will enjoy the movie. It got good reviews. And I would like to say that I enjoyed being part of that very much. It was done on the 20th anniversary of SICERT. And instead of organizing a conference or a panel to celebrate that, we decided we're going to do something different, step outside the proverbial box, and do a documentary film not on ourselves, because that would be, that would be propaganda, but on the things that we saw and think are interesting in this past 20 years. So, and we even got hackers in the movie that did bad things like 10 or 15 years ago, and they're interesting characters. So I hope you'll enjoy the movie after the coffee break. Thank you.
Thank you, Gorazd. I'm sure we will after the coffee break. But before that, I would kindly ask everyone to go to the index page of the forum, rif.rs, and fill in the agenda, survey, that we prepared. And it will help us and the organizer especially to make RIF better in the future. Thank you in advance for that, and we can go to coffee break now.